Neil, thanks for having me. He's not right. And quite frankly, I find Mr. Mueller's comments to be absolutely reprehensible. And the part that bothers me the most is that the bedrock of our system of justice is that people are presumed innocent unless proven otherwise beyond a reasonable doubt. He could have said, and this is the part that I have a problem with, his report could have said that our investigation has revealed probable cause to believe that the president committed obstruction of justice. He could have made that report and made that findings known to the Attorney General. He did not. It is not his place to exonerate the president. That is absolutely never the place of any prosecutor. It's not his place to comment that we couldn't say that he was guilty, we couldn't exonerate him. He can't. That's not his place. I think that what he did today really was one of the most political things I've ever seen a prosecutor do, and I'm deeply disappointed in the Justice Department for his conduct.
Well, you know, Fred, you're a very good lawyer. I'm not a lawyer at all, but I've watched enough legal shows to think that I can qualify as one. So
Law and Order, my favorite.
There you go. So what I didn't understand, having covered the Ken Starr investigation of the president, is he did make recommendations in that. Now, it was up to Congress to accept or reject them, but he did highlight crimes on the part of the president, lying under oath, et cetera, that he thought, you know, were prosecutable. I'm probably using the wrong term. In this report, no such recommendations, because that is, Mueller went into this saying, he was limited by the notion that you cannot indict a sitting president, but you can charge him with crimes. You can go ahead and do that, and he didn't. So there, I'm a little confused.
Right. So actually, you're not confused, because this whole thing is a giant kind of where's the ball under the cup. Mueller could have gone to Congress. He could have issued a report. His report's been made public. He could have said that our investigation revealed the buzzwords, which are the cornerstone of our justice system, probable cause to believe that obstruction was committed. These are the facts. This is the evidence. This is the evidence of his intent. And gone to Congress, as did Ken Starr, who was following the law, and said, I ask that you undertake impeachment proceedings, which ultimately they did. But not Mueller. He has to backdoor the whole thing to kind of keep this political firestorm alive for another 2 years. So he doesn't make those recommendations. That information is not in his report. He comes on television, and he makes these comments, which then are nothing more than chum in the water for the Democratic sharks to just start going into a feeding frenzy, and that's what you're seeing now.
You know, the market particularly picked up its losses. I know you safely avoid discussions like that, but I do notice that the market started cascading further south when Mueller made the comment, if we had evidence exculpating the president on obstruction, we would have noted it. Clearly saying we did not, so we did not. Now, he could have just as easily said, if we had evidence clearly connecting the president to obstruction, we would have noted that as well. Now, obviously, by focusing on the fact we didn't have enough to exonerate him, he was throwing it in Congress's hands, but adding fuel to the fire.
But here's the problem. Again, it's not his place to exonerate the president, or any individual for that matter.
I just think if you don't have it either way, then why say anything at all, right?
Correct, because if you have nothing, then by definition you don't have enough evidence to establish probable cause. His job, the job of any prosecutor, is not to look for evidence that exonerates. It's to look for evidence that incriminates. That's what you're supposed to do. And if he had evidence that Donald Trump had engaged in obstruction, and we could talk about that all day long as to why I think he didn't do it, if he has evidence that incriminates him, and he thinks that there's sufficient evidence to incriminate,